And we are recording. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to our blab. We are just getting started. My name is Andrew McCauley from Autopilot Your Business, and I'm joined by Will Hankey. Hey, Will.
Andrew, good to see you again.
Will is from Red Canoe Media, and we are talking about what is happening online, what's been changes. We haven't been online ourselves for a couple of weeks over the holidays. We're kicking back in. We have a huge list of cool things that have been happening. There's lots of changes going on in the online world. Of course, Twitter is in there and Facebook and a few other bits and pieces. So we're going to dig in and spread the word about all the new changes that have been happening. Will, what's some of the biggest things that you've noticed without going too deep into it right now that have happened over the last couple of weeks?
Well, you told me about a couple new apps that are pretty cool, but I actually grabbed something back on the 7th of January about Yahoo turning off something called Screen, which is a video service that they had. Kind of interesting that they shut that down. I think maybe Yahoo is just shutting everything down at some point here.
Yeah, I think I think they are. They're selling off their business and getting the hell out, and they're just going to be stuck in Alibaba land, I think it is.
Yeah, very possible. And we talked about that on a previous show about them moving their focus over to that anyway. So
Yeah, I wonder how long. I wonder how long they'll last. You reckon they'll see it to the end of the year or not?
yeah, I don't know. I guess it depends on who swoops in and tries to save them. Either that or it's going to go the way of MySpace, right?
Yeah, you know what's funny about this is that back in late '90s, Yahoo I think had 95, 96% of the search traffic, and people who were there were just saying this is just crazy. It's going to last forever. We'll never get beaten because we're so much market share. And here we
Yeah.
are talking about they barely got a heartbeat now. Um, but this could well be something like a Facebook. Facebook is like the Yahoos of the '90s, and one day people aren't going to like Facebook anymore. They're going to say we're bored, we're over it. MySpace did the same thing. So
Yeah.
these things aren't going to last forever.
Yeah, there's a movie called Frequency. I don't know. Have you ever seen that movie? It's a
Uh,
movie about a guy who's a cop, and I think it's James Caviezel, and he somehow comes across this radio and he starts talking to his dad who died years ago through the radio. And anyway,
uh-huh.
near the end of it, because of that time travel thing, the guy gives him one piece of advice, and that's the word Yahoo. So at the very end of the show, the guy drives up in his Rolls Royce, and his license plate says Yahoo. So that joke is going to be lost on people fairly soon, I would assume.
Yeah, really. Yeah, that's like a piece of bad advice now, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, kind of funny.
Yeah, that's funny.
So
Um,
let's talk about these apps. Speaking of the Facebook, going away and something else coming in play. Well, maybe not. But the one is called Peach, which looks pretty interesting. It's
Peachy.
Peach. Yeah, Peachy. I think if what I read about it is it was as if Facebook and Twitter had a baby.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. So it just sort of popped out of nowhere last week. I saw it trending on Twitter for a little bit, so I thought I'm going to dig in and see what this is all about. So I've signed up. I have myself one friend, which I'm pretty excited about. I better invite
Oh,
you because I need to get you on there so we can work out what the heck's going on with Peach. But
yeah.
it's a little bit of a different tool in that you can talk to people. From what I can tell and what I've been able to work out, because there's still a few bugs, that you can actually have pages for individual people and communication with individual people rather than a time stream like you see on Twitter or Facebook. So still yet to dig into that a lot more. And if anyone's watching and they want to jump in and tell us a bit about Peach, then go for it. But I'm not finding many people that I know on Peach right now.
Yeah, I
So I'm
think
interested.
in the article that I posted, I actually they actually mentioned that if you get on there and just like any social network, if your friends don't join, then after a while you just kind of goes away, and pretty soon you delete it.
Yeah, I think I'm a member of a lot of social networks like that. A lot of my friends aren't on it. I still got friends that aren't on Facebook yet. So yeah, you're right. If your friends aren't on it, then it's a bit hard to be social. You have to go make new friends.
Certainly is. Yeah.
So that's Peach.
Yeah.
So Peach, that's had a big rap, and lots of people are talking about Peach. So if you haven't got yourself Peach, go and get it. Connect with me on Peach. Andy Mack, I think I am. Andy Mack.
Yeah.
I think I got it early enough to get Andy Mack rather than a number at the end of my name. So connect.
What is the website for that? Is it? It's probably not peach.com. Do you know what it is, or do they have a site?
Peach.net, I think. But anyway, we'll find out before we hang up this show.
Yeah. By the way, it is only available on iOS systems, so no Android, I guess. Huh?
Oh, it's not okay. So so I don't even have it. Doesn't even have a website. I don't think it's straight out of straight on the Peach. No, you'll have to go straight to iTunes.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
And I think, to be honest with you, I think it's not available on the iPad version, so you have to download the iPhone version if you're on your iPad. Just FYI.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yep.
Well, the other app you were telling me about, and I don't even know how to pronounce it. I guess it's Mevi. Is it Mevi?
Mevi is it? Yeah, Mevi.
So it's kind of like a play on TV, I guess.
It's Mevi. So Mevi come out of the box. I think it was launched, or sort of word came out at CES, the Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas last week, and they launched it. It's a live streaming app, and it's the latest in a run of live streaming apps. Of course, we've got Meerkat and Periscope. We've got Blab. We've got Facebook. And what else we got? There's one more. Oh, Mevi. I think Mevi's it.
Well, yeah. There's the new Facebook one.
Yeah. So anyway, Mevi's come out, and a lot of people are jumping on, loving it, because it has the ability to run ads, running ads on your channel. And of course, if you're running your little Mevi, it's a bit like Periscope. If you're running your video and you want to run ads over the top of it, you can, and you get a cut of the ad revenue as well. So yeah, it's a good way for people that are influential to make some money while they're doing their little Mevi videos. I don't know how long Meerkat's going to last, to be honest with you. I think Meerkat might be the first one on the chopping board this year. Yeah. I think we might disappear. I'm not seeing Meerkat grow as much as it wanted to. Periscope's still hanging in there.
Usually the first one out of the gate, is usually the winner. And Meerkat, I mean, they were strong out of the gate, but I guess Periscope came along too quick and killed them.
I think that was the problem. They weren't too far in front. Periscope came out, Twitter bought them, and then bang, Twitter's boosted them up a fair bit. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. So Mevi is the latest craze out now. So get on the Mevi, check it out. I think I'm Andy Mack on that one too. Yeah. It's have a look at it, follow some people, and then see what it's like. I thought it was a little bit buggy when I first got on, but the guy, to his credit, the guy that runs it, Toma, very approachable guy, but he was saying, we weren't expecting it to go as crazy as it has, and we have a lot of bugs still. And we're fixing those, and they're doing updates every day. I think they're working around the clock to fix these things, because there's some pretty influential live streamers out there who are using Mevi right now, and I think that's the sort of thing that's helping them get the word out.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
I also see that we have some news on here about Periscope, and I believe that is related to Twitter now showing that inside the streams. Is that correct?
Yeah. So if you're Periscoping now, you can actually share your Periscope to your Twitter feed live, so people can watch it live inside the Twitter feed, which is pretty cool. Pretty interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing, news channels and all the live TV stuff start doing a little version of their own Periscope, so that they can broadcast their news or whatever it is inside Twitter streams. I think that's going to be the next thing, that they're going to make some sort of thing like that happen. That
is kind of cool. Yeah. Well, that'll be, Twitter's making the changes. Jack Dorsey came along, and sure enough, things are hopping over there. So.
Well, yeah. The thing about that, though, it's a pretty interesting move, because you can broadcast now anything live. Like, you can do webinars you may not be able to share screens and stuff, but you can always turn your phone around to your screen. But you can now essentially do webinars to a Twitter audience, run some ads to your feed and all that sort of stuff. It's interesting to see how that's going to work.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting. Yeah, I don't know about the turn around your phone to show your screen. That's a little hokey, but I'm sure that's something that they're going to work on fixing sooner than later. And Blab as well, I would assume, would do something similar.
Yeah, I think this year's going to be pretty big for live stream. I think we're going to see some boundaries being pushed that we've never seen before.
Yeah. Back to the Mevi thing, I think one of the articles said that at CES, there were actually cameras that were built specifically for live streaming, things like that at the event as well. So it's definitely a growing area.
Well, I think GoPro now have got a camera that's actually, and I think these guys were talking about it too, but GoPro have got a live streaming camera now too, so you can take it anywhere, pretty sturdy camera. I'm not sure which one that is, but they've got the ability to do this sort of stuff as well. So yeah, pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, Mr. Wonderful's joined us. Thank you for jumping in, Mr. Wonderful.
So since we're talking about Twitter, let's go ahead. There's more talk about the 10,000 character limit as well.
Yeah, so once again, Jack's jumping in and saying, let's try and do this. Now, there's a lot of people up in arms saying, Twitter was built on 140. Why would we want to go and change it? I think they're trying to get the that whole content publishing platform happening. We've seen LinkedIn change last year to predominantly a content platform. I think Twitter want to do it now. Before people jump up in arms, what they're saying is that you'll still see the original 140 characters, but then you've got to click on a button to extend it. I just don't know if they're messing with the wrong part of the formula there. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I'd agree. The whole point of it is that it's streaming, that it's rolling past your screen quickly. You can grab stuff without having to click anything. It's going to be similar to the Facebook where you get the first couple lines and then you get to read more, which expands it out, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm just looking at all this stuff, all these different platforms, and I was reading an article or listening to an article the other day about someone saying, we're creating all this content and we've all talked about putting it on our own platforms, but now there are so many different platforms for us to put it on. You can put a full, 10,000 word article on LinkedIn. You can do it on now maybe Twitter. You can put it on Facebook notes and stuff like that. So we now having the ability to put our content all over the place, and it's going to be interesting to see how that's handled, especially by Google as well. When you've got the same content, if you copy and paste it all on the different platforms, how that's going to be handled too, as from a search perspective.
Yeah. I've been reading a lot lately about duplicate content not being an issue, but I'm still advising my clients to post their stuff on their website first, wait a day or two, and then share it on other networks.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to. I guess I'm not going to see Google give LinkedIn a slap for duplicate content, or Twitter, or any of those platforms. So I don't think that's going to happen, and they certainly can't slap you for duplicate content, especially if you publish it yourself first. So that's the key. Yourself first. And we're not even going to talk about this because it'll happen in the next few weeks, but the big update from the rolling update from Penguin or Panda or whatever is going to come out is going to happen pretty soon. There was some evidence of that happening last weekend too. Yeah. Already seeing changes. People saying it was a massive change already, and it hasn't even hit the big part yet. So it's going to be some big changes coming up as well.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it'll affect some businesses negatively, but everybody doesn't realize that for everyone that's negatively impacted, if you're doing all your stuff right, you're just going to see a huge increase. So,
that's it. Do the right stuff. Don't try and cheat the system, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. So it looks like we have one other piece of Twitter news: conversation ads. So
conversational ads. Yeah. Have you seen any of these pop up in your Twitter timeline yet?
No. You know what? I'm not a big Twitter user, so that doesn't help.
I thought you might have changed this year. I thought it might have been a New Year's resolution. I haven't seen them. I'm a big Twitter user, but I haven't seen them yet. But from what I know about them, they are basically a little bit like a question answer poll sort of situation where you can help get brand loyalty. You can pick on let's say you want to pick, you might do a tweet and it might say, do you like red or black?
Right.
And then it'll say tweet hashtag red or hashtag black. It's more about brand stuff. There'll be some creative ways that people are using it. They're not rolled out to everybody yet. I think they're just starting to roll out to everybody. But it's going to be interesting to see how people are using it. So watch this space for little conversational ads that are going to be popping up pretty soon.
Yeah, so a month or two ago, you and I reported about Twitter polls increasing. They were really small at first, and they let us do more with that. So this must be the next step, how they're kind of rolling all that into something specifically for brands, and I'm assuming there's some sort of monetary play as well.
Yeah, I think Twitter's biggest downfall was that people were using it as a service to punch stuff out and just send, and the engagement factor wasn't as much as they hoped. So I think they're trying to really increase that. Like, how can we increase the engagement between people so that they spend more time on the platform, and more importantly, not just send it out from third-party apps like Hootsuite and Buffer and all that sort of stuff, but come back to the platform itself and see the ads and interact with people, because that's going to be a big part of them getting money for ads. And they've got to start making money because they're not doing too well at that part of it right now.
Right. Yeah. Which they've always had trouble making money, I think, for years. That was always the news. How are we going to make money from this thing?
Exactly.
Well, we've got a couple other things before we. It looks like we've got quite a bit of Facebook updates. I don't know if we're going to be able to hammer those out. Apple Night Shift. Tell us about that.
Don't know a lot about it. Just sort of saw that come through yesterday. They are, with their new iOS 9.3 or whatever it is update. They're having they're going to understand people who work night shift. The back ends of the screen, so they're not so bright at night, or you look at your phone during the night, they're going to have some sort of ability to actually tone it down or make it softer colors so they're not so bright. It was just a silly little thing I thought I'd stick in there because I know I look at my phone at night and sometimes it's like, whoa, I can't look at it for a few minutes until my eyes adjust. So that's an update coming out on iOS pretty soon.
Well, I know that Mashable has an article that they keep retargeting about not reading your cell phone in bed, things like that. So, I know that there's other things out there related to that, not being able to sleep because of the brightness increases your serotonin levels or something like that. So, okay, whatever.
Whatever, that's what I say, whatever.
Yeah. Skype video for groups, mobile.
Yeah, so Skype have launched, they're announcing their group video for mobile devices. So they've already had group video for a long time, but they're actually going to be able to do have the ability to do group video conferencing on Skype on your mobile phone, which is going to be pretty cool. I think they're looking at this whole, Blab and live streaming sort of stuff, thinking, hey, we've been leading this technology for a long time, and now we're suddenly way behind. So, they've been, in fact, I think they've been doing Skype calls for 10 years on video. We've been able to do video for them for a long time. So it's probably logical. The next step is let's make it on mobile. I mean, surprised they haven't done it already.
What? I've never pulled up Blab on a cell phone. Does it give you the 4 squares if there's 4 people talking?
Yeah. To be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of it. It's very glitchy and patchy, and you don't see it that often. In fact, my little 3-year-old was playing on my phone the other day, and Blab message popped up, and he sort of click on it, and suddenly I'm hearing this voice saying, "Hi, Andrew, welcome to the Blab." I'm like, "What Blab?
Oh no,
I'm on the Blab."
That's great.
So, yeah, it does work.
Interesting. All right, well, let's jump over to Facebook. Lots of things here. I guess we'll just go down the list. Facebook's saying there's more parents than non-parents, so that's interesting, especially for advertisers that are advertising to parents.
Yeah. There's an article come out that they were saying that I think 1.4 times as many people on Facebook are parents versus non-parents. So that's surprising. I thought it would have been the other way around.
I can see where that makes sense, especially with the older crowd being the biggest demographic that's growing on Facebook. all of the
Yeah,
younger
right.
people are trying to get their parents on, so that makes sense that would skew that way.
Yeah, so I said parents spend 1.3 times more time on Facebook than non-parents, and millennial parents, so being 18 to 34, were 30% more likely than baby boomer parents to use their mobile devices to make informed purchase decisions. So I think you put the link in there. There's some good stats in there for people to have a look at that as well.
Yep. Interesting.
Yeah.
Facebook interactive videos. Didn't we see something about this a couple weeks ago too?
I'm not sure. Is that yours or mine? Did you put that there, or did I?
Oh, I did that. Yeah, that's related to the videos where you can actually see the different things that pop up. So if somebody's doing a promo for a concert or something like that, then they can actually have things pop up on their screen that says, click here to buy tickets, things of that sort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks like I scrolled too far down, but that's.
Sure, I don't remember talking about that. There you go.
That's okay.
We are up.
That's okay. We're making sure everybody knows about that. So
it's important. You got to know about that. It's very important, that piece.
Yeah. So by the way, if anybody has anything to talk about related to any of these different apps or any Twitter or Facebook things you want to jump on, feel free to do so. We've got an open seat there. And so I guess we kind of knocked out our list here.
Yeah. Here we are thinking all these Facebook updates. There's not a lot of them. We're super quick.
That's what it was. Yeah. And I'm really surprised that, we've been off for a couple of weeks now with the holidays and stuff, that there really hasn't been that much activity over the holiday season. Probably one of the biggest things in my world is the Penguin update that you're talking about. I think that's starting to kind of move the needle a little bit, specifically for SEO and traffic.
So just on that, they're talking about having real-time updates and that sort of stuff. What does that mean? What is that going to mean for people?
Well, I would assume that means that the rankings are going to be a little bit more volatile. That you might rank number 3 1 week and 7 or 10, then a couple days later, which is they came out probably 2.5-3 years ago now with the freshness update, which basically was an algorithm adjustment that if you have fresh content, that it's very likely to rank higher for short term. And I've seen that in action. Typically that's around news related stuff. If somebody dies or something like that, that stuff kind of rides a wave, but then it goes back to no man's land and the other things go back to ranking as normal. So I think they kind of already had that in play a while ago.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. And the old number one on Google for this. Well, at what time of the day were you number one? It's going to be interesting to see how much it does really change. Yeah, definitely. Have they given any indication of any other ranking factors that are changing or giving more weight to?
Haven't seen a whole lot of in-depth news on it. Mostly all I've seen is that people are saying, "Hey, is something going on?" That there's some sort of movement, and I've seen it in some of my clients' analytics too. I've seen some nice bumps up in the last 8 days or so. Good for them, bad for their competitors, but that's fine.
Yep. Bad luck. That's good. So watch your space. They're saying they're not giving us a definite date, and they never do. They're not commenting on it. So it's a matter of just keep our eye out and see what happens and quickly work out what's going on.
Yep. I haven't seen any changes on Blab lately. It's been fairly quiet over there for a long time. They were doing a bunch of different updates and things. We have the map up in the corner. I think if you're on Chrome, you get to see that map, but not a lot of big things like we've seen in the past.
No, they've sort of settled down a bit, which is interesting. I think a lot of the businesses sort of kept it quiet over Christmas and then kicking off the new year. So I think it's going to be a pretty busy year for a lot of information. And of course, we're on every Friday at 10:30 Pacific and 12:30 Central, 1:30 Eastern. So tell your friends, love you to join us. And if you've got anything you want to share with us, we'd love you to be on the Blab as well. Jump in and have a chat. We don't necessarily know everything, and we want people to jump in and join us too. So I think we're almost done here, eh?
Yeah, I think we're done. I think, the holidays have slowed everything down, but I'm sure they'll kick back in now. And next week we'll have a whole another pile of things to talk about.
Yeah, and if you want to be a guest on next week's show too, just ping us, let us know. We'd love to have guests on here. It's much more fun with four of us. not saying Will's not fun. Not saying Will's not fun.
Yeah, it is what it is, right? So if they want to get a hold of us, it's which way do I go here? Is this correct?
Right about there, right there.
Yeah,
there,
Andy Mack, 71, and Red Canoe Media.
Awesome. All right, well, that's good. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and have a fantastic weekend. And we will see you next week if we're lucky.
Yeah, see y'all.
See you later. Bye.